the Moberly-Jourdain Incident, the mysterious time slip at Versailles. In 1901, two English women, Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, embarked on what they thought would be an ordinary visit to the Palace of Versailles. Little did they know, this visit would lead them into a mysterious and perplexing experience that would become one of the most famous and debated incidents in paranormal history. Their tale, often referred to as the Moberly-Jourdain Incident, captures the imagination with its blend of historical intrigue and supernatural elements. Anne Moberly was the daughter of George Moberly, the Bishop of Salisbury. She was well educated, having studied at St Hilda's College, Oxford, and later becoming the principal of St Hugh's College, Oxford. Eleanor Jourdain was equally distinguished, having been educated at Girton College, Cambridge, and working as a tutor in Paris. On August 10, 1901, Moberly and Jourdain visited the Palace of Versailles, the opulent former residence of French royalty. The palace, known for its stunning architecture and gardens, had been a symbol of the absolute monarchy of the Ancien Régime. The two women toured the palace but were particularly interested in visiting the Petit Trianon, a smaller chateau on the grounds of Versailles, which had been the private retreat of Queen Marie Antoinette. As they strolled through the palace gardens, they became disoriented and found themselves on a path they hadn't intended to take. They later described a feeling of oppressive stillness, as if the surroundings had suddenly become unreal. This strange sensation marked the beginning of their extraordinary experience. They continued walking and noticed several people dressed in old-fashioned clothing, which they assumed were part of some kind of historical reenactment. Moberly and Jourdain later recounted seeing men wearing long, greyish-green coats with tricorn hats, women in white kerchiefs and aprons, and even a man they believed to be the Comte de Vaudreuil, a close friend of Marie Antoinette. The atmosphere around them felt eerie and unnatural. They also noticed an old farmhouse, a plough, and a woman shaking a white cloth out of a window, all of which seemed out of place for the early 20th century. The climax of their experience occurred when they encountered a woman sitting on a stool, sketching or painting. Moberly was struck by her appearance, describing her as having a fair complexion, light hair under a large white hat, and an expression that seemed out of touch with the present. Moberly later concluded that this woman was none other than Queen Marie Antoinette herself. After this encounter, the oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the women found themselves back on familiar paths. Upon returning to their hotel, Moberly and Jourdain discussed their strange experience in detail. They were puzzled and intrigued by what had happened. Over the following weeks, they began to research the history of Versailles and the Petit Trianon, hoping to find some explanation for what they had witnessed. Their investigations only deepened the mystery. The people and scenes they described did not match any known historical reenactments or events from that day. In 1911, 10 years after their visit, Moberly and Jourdain published a book about their experience, titled An Adventure, under the pseudonyms Elizabeth Morrison and Frances Lamont. The book detailed their encounter and their subsequent research. It quickly became a sensation, drawing both skepticism and fascination from the public and academics alike. Critics questioned the reliability of their account, suggesting that the women had either misinterpreted ordinary events or experienced a shared hallucination. Despite the skepticism, Moberly and Jourdain stood by their story. They insisted that what they had experienced was not a mere trick of the mind, but a genuine time slip, a phenomenon where they had somehow travelled back in time to witness scenes from the 18th century. The idea of time slips, though popular in fiction, had little scientific backing, making their claims all the more controversial. Over the years, various theories have been proposed to explain the Moberly-Jourdain incident. Some suggest that the women may have encountered a residual haunting, where past events are somehow imprinted on the environment and occasionally replayed. Others believe they might have been influenced by the intense emotional and historical significance of Versailles, leading to a psychological projection of historical scenes. There is also the possibility of a folie à deux, a shared psychotic disorder, where two people experience the same delusion. Skeptics point to the lack of corroborating evidence and inconsistencies in the women's accounts. For instance, their descriptions of certain locations and people did not always match historical records precisely. Additionally, some details seem to change over time, raising questions about the reliability of their memories. Despite these criticisms, the Moberly-Jourdain Incident remains a compelling and enigmatic story. The incident has continued to inspire interest and speculation in the decades since it occurred. It has been the subject of numerous books, articles, and documentaries, each exploring different aspects of the story and offering various interpretations. The tale's blend of historical intrigue and supernatural elements makes it a fascinating topic for anyone interested in the mysteries of the past. Beyond the specifics of the Moberly-Jourdain Incident, the story raises broader questions about the nature of time and reality. Could time slips be possible? If so, what might they reveal about the fabric of our universe? The idea that time might not be as linear and straightforward as we perceive it is both thrilling and unsettling. While science has yet to provide any evidence for such phenomena, the possibility continues to capture the imagination.